I love Star Trek, which is why I hate bad Star Trek. And welcome back once more to Not Our Savior Month. Sorry we're a little late this time. You know, Not Our Savior Month has been going for quite a few years now, and I fear we may be running out of steam. Don't get me wrong, we still got Not Our Savior Months for a couple more years at least, but we're nearing the end of Star Trek's stupid commentary on religion. In fact, we're running so low, now we have to start talking about when Star Trek gets reasonable discussing religious issues. And so, if we're going to talk about reasonable attitudes toward faith in Star Trek, we're going to have to go to Deep Space Nine. This is NOS DS9, Destiny. We begin with Deep Space Nine getting ready to host some Cardassian scientists for a joint mission. Sisko and company are discussing the fact that Bajor recently signed a peace treaty with Cardassia in a previous episode, and all the implications of this joint scientific mission, and it's interesting world building stuff. Not too much that applies to the plot overall, but still good world building. Quark shows up with some rotten Kanar because everything has to fail for Quark. And then later in his office, a Vedic arrives to tell Sisko about something.
I am here with a warning from the prophets. They don't want you to let the Cardassians come aboard this station. If you do, you will bring destruction on us all.
Hey, wait. He's a Vedic? I thought he worshipped Ra.
Well, he got over that.
Ancient text. You mean a prophecy?
Tricor's third. Tricor's words are clear. When the river wakes, stirred once more to Janer's side, 3 vipers will return to their nest in the sky.
Kuyal Dam was just put back into operation to divert water to the city.
And I take it you think the Vipers are a reference to the Cardassian scientists?
Yes, and this station is their nest in the sky. Tricor said when the Vipers try to peer through the temple gates, a sword of stars will appear in the heavens. The temple will burn and the gates will be cast open.
Everybody got that?
You must not let the Cardassians come here. You must not let them violate the celestial temple, or they will destroy it. And Bajor will be cut off from the prophets forever.
Do you understand what this communications relay could mean for Bajor? If it works, we'll be able to stay in contact with ships in the Gamma Quadrant.
It'll facilitate exploration, help us monitor Dominion activity, give us warning in case of an attack.
And this shows a big change in Kira from Season 1. In Season 1, Kira just absolutely detested the Federation, everything it stood for. She was reluctant to do her own job because she didn't like it. And now...
It'll facilitate exploration, help us monitor Dominion activity, give us warning in case of an attack.
No commentary, just noting in only a couple seasons we've already seen this kind of growth from her. The fact that this is standard for Deep Space Nine says something. Also says something about the other Star Treks.
I like the way this debate is framed, with Sisko on the one side, the Vedic on the other, and Kira as a floating point between them. Right now she's more on Sisko's side, but as the episode goes on, we'll see her start to drift over to the Vedics a bit. And Kira especially makes a good choice as the halfway marker between these 2 points of view, because she is both a believing Bajoran and an officer on a Starfleet station. She has 1 foot in each world, so of course she has to find a medium between them.
I know that you will do what must be done.
Vedic, I have the utmost respect for your beliefs.
Your stupid, stupid beliefs.
But I have no intention of calling this project off.
And then the Cardassian scientists arrive, and note again the subtle acting of the now visitor here. She's saying the right things, acting the right way, but there's also a reluctance behind it. This is a great episode for this actress.
It is our belief that this project will mark the beginning of a new era of peace for Bajor and Cardassia.
Now that we've gotten the formalities out of the way, how was your trip?
Exhausting. We spent most of it rehearsing what we were going to say when we got here. In the past few days, I've been contacted by gulls I haven't even heard of.
Gul Dukat just sent me dick pics. Yeah, he did that to me too.
Same here. And these Cardassians are very gracious and kind, not like the typical Cardassians we've seen. Granted, almost all the Cardassians we've seen have been Cardassian military or politicians, you know, the elite rulers of Cardassia, not the relatively low-level people that the scientists are. And they discuss the technobabble of their mission, which is going to be to put relays on both sides of the wormhole and have a special magical kind of carrier beam that can send messages through the wormhole in real time to the Gamma Quadrant. And O'Brien starts to butt heads with Galore, one of the Cardassian scientists.
Our new design has less than half that variance.
You don't mind if I look at the specs?
This is going to be their theme.
If you think it's necessary.
Now, those are about the two friendliest Vipers I have ever met.
And then the Cardassian scientist reveals there's going to be a third member of their party.
There are gonna be 3 of them. Just like in the prophecy.
And they're just gonna be viping all over everywhere.
Fewer pieces left behind, plus all that charm and softness.
Talking with Sisko, Odo discusses the Vedek's history and that he's actually a former Vedek who was kicked out because he was making all sorts of crazy doomsday prophecies and greatly opposes this peace treaty.
So Yarka may be using this prophecy as a way to scuttle the peace treaty.
That would seem to be his agenda. And it's probably coloring his view of the prophecy, just as your agenda colors how you see it.
I don't have an agenda, Odo. I want this project to succeed because I want the peace treaty to succeed.
That would be an agenda, Sisko. Just because it's an agenda you're not embarrassed by or won't hide doesn't mean it's not an agenda. And Sisko takes an opportunity to discuss his discomfort with being the emissary, making this an important step along the series-long character arc of Sisko becoming a spiritual man. Elsewhere, the Vedek of Ra tries to convince Kira about his doomsday prophecies. As Kim mentioned earlier, Kira is far more open to the possibility.
You have to understand my position here. Commander Sisko is my superior officer. I have to deal with him on that basis first.
So you do believe he's the emissary? You just don't want him to know that.
You know, I wonder if this character was originally written for Kai Wynn, because this is the kind of thing that Kai Wynn would do. Although the episode does get a bit of mileage out of the fact that he's been excommunicated from the Bajoran hierarchy, so maybe not.
And also, considering that Kai Wynn was the one who helped negotiate the peace treaty, it would be really hard to say that she's against the peace treaty at the same time. Maybe it was supposed to be her, maybe not. Either way, they did make some changes.
Well, if it was supposed to be her, you'd have to say that Kai Wynn was a crazy bitch. Oh, wait!
You must convince him to make the Cardassians leave before the Sword of Stars appears.
Vedek, if you're asking me
It is not I who is asking, it is the prophets.
Guilt, 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 guilt!
If you turn your back on them now, you're abandoning your faith. And without your faith, Nerys, what do you have left?
Oh, we're going to do this again already? We just did last time. Okay, well, let's go again down to Kim's Corner.
Whew! I know that the episode is trying to say that this character is in the wrong, but this is a debate tactic that really fries me whenever I see it. If you're against me, then you're against God. Dude, even if you're a priest, you do not solely speak for God. And as a tactic, this is horrible. Even if you could speak for God, are you seriously going to say to someone, because you disagree with me on what is often a relatively minor technical point in religion, I am going to cut you off from the deity? Even if you could do that. Wow, that's awful. I hope that you are literally damned because you disagree with me. I've seen this happen in real-world debates. I've seen real-world religious authorities try to pull this, and I've heard people refer to it as a kind of spiritual emotional abuse, and I'm inclined to agree with them. This is not only just an underhanded and unacceptable debate tactic, it's a really awful thing to even try to do to someone.